Aloha, happy Sunday from Hawaii Nei. I'm Candace Neves. So excited to be joining you again as we continue our series on fertility. It's also Fertile February, so I've been focusing this month on sharing a lot of videos around enhancing natural fertility. I've had a journey of my own, and I'm really blessed and grateful to be pregnant now with our next baby. We gave birth to our first child 2 years ago, Samaya, and this baby's coming in 3 months, so we've got some time to go still. I received a message on Instagram, and I get a lot of messages all the time from women who have a variety of different issues that they're navigating that seem to be blocking their ability to conceive. And this particular one I wanted to answer and address in a video. So the woman who wrote to me wanted to know why I miscarried. And she also asked what she can do. She's been trying to conceive for a very long time, and her energy has been feeling really low. She feels ill. What are some things that she can do to help raise her fertility and change her life? So here we are. We're going to answer those questions today. I want to talk to you about my personal experience with miscarriage, what happened, and also some natural healing tips that I haven't covered yet. I have a lot of videos out on these topics already, but there's so much that goes into it. So hopefully I can give you some new information that you haven't yet heard from me today. Back in 2015, the year that my husband and I got married, we also conceived. We were ready to start having children right away when we fell in love, and we started trying immediately. And it was about 9 months into loving on one another that we were having our wedding ceremony, and I was also 6 weeks pregnant during our wedding, which was really exciting and beautiful and very much planned and anticipated. I had tried for 2.5, 3 years in a previous partnership to get pregnant and was unable to. So this was a huge blessing, and the day we got married I was 6 weeks pregnant, and it was the happiest day of my life. We were just dancing down the aisle with our closest friends and feeling so great, and my body had started changing, and we decided to share with some of our family. Even though it was early in my pregnancy, it was just something that we were so excited about. And then a few weeks following that, I was 10 weeks along, and we were on our staycation honeymoon up in like the higher altitude part of the island, a really beautiful area. And things were shifting for me at this point. Actually, just prior to the wedding, I had started bleeding, and a bunch of midwives that I talked to told me they thought that I was miscarrying at that point, and I really didn't feel like I was. But my midwife told me that I should go have an ultrasound, and so I did to see what was going on, and the baby was there. Baby was healthy, and the doctor said that I had a subchorionic hemorrhage. So subchorionic hemorrhage means that I was bleeding inside of my uterus, and this didn't necessarily mean that I would miscarry, and it also didn't mean that I wouldn't. It meant that I was having a high-risk pregnancy, so they told me I needed to rest a lot and relax and just stay in bed as much as possible. So we were monitoring things. I was taking it very easy. We went on this staycation honeymoon and had made an appointment to meet with another doctor on our way down from our honeymoon. And I had also in those weeks experienced some episodes that were a little bit scary. At times I would just bleed a lot. I was losing a lot of blood. I got really faint one time and had to go to the emergency room. But every time something came up and we did another ultrasound, the baby was there and the baby's heart was beating and everything seemed healthy with the pregnancy. So it was this really bizarre situation of bleeding, being pregnant, and still having a healthy child growing inside of me. And so during this really beautiful honeymoon that we were on, I continued to bleed. I continued to take it easy and just eat and nourish and enjoy the time with my new husband. And then all of a sudden there was this moment where something shifted, and I'll never forget, lavender had smelled really horrible for me throughout the pregnancy, and suddenly I could handle the smell of lavender. And at this point, we were heading down the mountain and actually on our way to our first appointment with this doctor that I had been recommended to see. So if you know anything about me, you know that I'm all about holistic healing, and I love to take the natural method whenever possible. So I use plants and herbs. I don't take aspirin or Tylenol or things like that. I stay far away from pharmaceuticals whenever possible, which is like pretty much always. And I look to Mother Nature for the answers for my own healing. And I've been doing this majority of my life, but especially in this last like 15 years. I'm 35 now. 35? Yes, 35. So I was recommended a doctor who was bridging Chinese medicine, which I love, with conventional Western medicine. She had this whole background in Chinese medicine, and she, brought that into her modern day practice and was able to serve people from this perspective. So I love that she had a holistic approach to begin with. Her name is Dr. Erin Waters, and she used to be living here on the island where I am in Hawaii. And so we were on our way to meet Dr. Waters. We get there, and she said that she wanted to do another ultrasound and check in on the baby. And I said, we've had so many baby's in there, baby's doing great, like I feel good about it. And she said, I really think that we should look. So we did the ultrasound. She's looking around and she's not finding a heartbeat, and eventually she turned off the machine and she said, I'm so sorry, but I'm not finding a heartbeat, and I think that your baby has died. I'm like 99% sure that the baby's no longer alive, and in the next week sometime you're going to physically miscarry. And it was devastating. It was everything that we had been working so hard to achieve, and we were so excited about. And so our hearts were very, very much broken. Going through miscarriage is one of the hardest things, and a lot of people don't talk about it. I'm going to tear up a little bit. I feel like a lot of my videos are filled with a lot of positivity and optimism because I've had such a full journey, and I've seen how even these really painful things that we sometimes go through lead us to something so powerful and so beautiful and so potent. And I do believe that in life sometimes we need to start like the lotus flower in the muddy waters, and then we have to allow ourselves to grow and to blossom and bloom, and eventually we come above water and we can see the light of day, and then we do bloom, and it's beautiful. And just trusting that darkness, trusting that process, and navigating miscarriage was definitely very much part of that experience for me and my husband. So we knew we were going to miscarry, and a week later I did, and it was really intense. I tried to do everything at home as naturally as possible and avoid having to go to the hospital, but we did. I was bleeding so much. I started to look really pale, and I was rushed to the emergency room, and it turned out that I had lost a third of the blood in my body actually in the process of miscarrying. So it was a full-on experience, and I just went in knowing that I was going to be held and taken care of, and I prayed a lot. And I had to have a D&C, so they actually like scoop the uterus clean in this process, and there's a chance that the doctor could perforate the uterus, and then you can never have children after that. But I prayed about it, and Spirit said it's all going to be fine. Dr. Erin Waters happened to be the on-call doctor that day, which was really amazing. So she was actually the one who was going to be performing this procedure for me, and they put me under anesthesia. And then they went ahead and did that, and everything went well. It was all smooth. And so she said to me that she wanted to know why I miscarried, and she asked me to come back in after I had healed. So this piece was really interesting for me. I had shared with some people that I had miscarried, and the people who know me really well were blown away. They were like, why did you, of all people, have a miscarriage? You're so healthy, you eat amazing, you practice yoga, you're always exercising and like doing all the things, you're helping everyone else around you get healthy. How were you not able to carry a healthy pregnancy? And I was mourning and grieving and healing and so sad. And it was actually really hard to hear that. But I had no answers, and I wanted to know too. And I just didn't think that that was a piece that I got. And so Aaron Waters said, I really want to dive in and find out why you miscarried. Come back into my office. Let's do a few more ultrasounds and take a look at what's happening in your womb space. So when I healed, I did come back and she had me do some more ultrasounds, and we found out that I had a fibroid growing right in the cavity of my uterus. And this fibroid was about the size of a golf ball. And when I got the news about the fibroid, a lot of things made sense. I had been experiencing excruciatingly painful menstrual cycles for the 5 years prior to that, and this is really, really significant piece in it all. My body was telling me that something was wrong. Now, majority of that time I was in another relationship, and what I've learned is that what we experience emotionally is completely connected to what we experience physically in our bodies. So any stress, any area where we're living out of alignment with our truth, where we're not fully able to be ourselves, that's going to manifest in the body if we're perpetuating these patterns for too long in life. And so I was in a relationship where I was trying to change myself to make that relationship dynamic work. I thought, oh, well, if I'm this way, or if I do things this way, then it'll make him happy and then we can work out. And we can't change ourselves. We are who we are, and we have to be ourselves. And so that was a really important piece that I learned. I actually ended up getting out of that relationship, and the minute we decided to separate was the minute a lot of healing started happening in my life. I had been dealing with full body eczema and psoriasis and was not able to heal it through the best diet and all the cleansing and all the things in the world. But the minute I changed my mind about being in a relationship that didn't serve me, my skin started healing. And I also believe that during that time I had formed a large fibroid. I think it was even bigger than golf ball size a few years prior to that. And that fibroid was preventing us from conceiving. We were married. We were also trying to have a child for a few years, and we never did. Thank you so much. So grateful that that didn't happen. But I do believe that that was the blockage there, that my body said, no, I will not allow you to conceive under this type of stress and these type of circumstances. So the minute we separated, my moon cycle started to feel a little bit better. And it was still pretty painful, and I went through some like heavy bleeding, and those first 2 days were just, I was like on the floor rolling around in pain, like in bed, couldn't do anything. And I just thought that that was normal for me. I thought that's how my body was operating. I didn't realize at that time that our bodies are not meant to feel that way when we're bleeding, that when we're on our monthly cycle, that we're actually meant to feel restful and all of that, but it shouldn't be something that is so painful. So if there is a lot of pain, it's the body saying something is off, something's not totally right here, and it needs attention. It's the body asking for attention. Really and truly, our bodies are always speaking to us. And so I also believe that when I left that relationship, the fibroids started to shrink because I was then honoring myself. I entered a new relationship that was really healthy for me, shrinking. My periods were feeling better. And then I think it was small enough finally for me to conceive. But the baby that we made implanted right on the fibroid. And it couldn't grow there for more than 10 weeks. And that's why it died. So, because it was right in the cavity of my uterus. I think I may have mentioned that. So I'm all about natural healing, and I start looking up ways that you can heal fibroids naturally, and there are so much. Of course, it also comes down to tending to the root cause of why it manifested, and I felt like I had been doing a lot of that work consciously and unconsciously already, and I was working on diving more into my creativity. I started playing music around the time that all of this was coming to light. I was, tending to my emotional needs. I was in a partnership finally that was very, very supportive for me, being myself completely. All these things were great, and I was still having cycles that were painful, and I also wanted to have a baby right away. As I understood it to be, this was the one thing that was blocking us from having a child. And so Dr. Waters was very excited when she found out about where the fibroid was located, because she said that it was in a spot where it would be really easy to remove it surgically, and she felt great about that option. And I trusted her, and I trusted her opinion, and also I wanted to sit with it myself. So me and my husband both prayed about it and just sat with it all, and we decided, yes, we did want to surgically have it removed if this was the only thing that was blocking us from conceiving. And so I had the procedure, she did it, everything went smooth, and by January of 2016, I was fibroid free. And then my moon cycle came back, and it was heaven. It was what I'd always dreamed menstruating would be like, a time of bleeding, but not super heavy. I think it lasted like 4 or 5 days. And then I was just restful, especially in those first few days, and journaling and giving my moon blood back to the earth, which is a whole nother topic that I want to talk more about, but it's really important to have this healthy relationship with bleeding, menstruating, what it means to be a woman, how divine and sacred that process and experience is, and then also offering our moon blood back to the earth and dilute it. And fabulous. Anyways, we'll talk more about that, or you can Google it if you're interested, but it's part of womb healing. So things were good, and we figured we would get pregnant, and we waited and waited and waited and kept trying every month, and I never got pregnant. So this was 2016, didn't conceive. 2017, didn't conceive. And then by 2018, I'm wondering what's going on. And that's when we decided to do more testing just to see what was happening with my hormone levels and other things. I had done so much cleansing. I'd worked with different naturopaths. I was eating so well and had all these pieces in line, but something was still off. And that was the point that doctors told me I had 2 blocked fallopian tubes and would never conceive naturally. Now, of course, we did, and that happened 4 months after I got that diagnosis, and I have a whole video about that. So go check that video out if you're interested in hearing about that side of my journey. Hey family! My family just came back from their bike ride. If you were wondering why I miscarried, that's the story on the miscarriage. So now I'm going to go over 7 natural fertility methods that I haven't covered yet in my previous videos. And these are easy practices that you can incorporate into your life starting right now. First one, number 1, is change your diet. If you haven't already, commit to eating 100% organic. This means the foods that you put into your body have not been grown with or treated with chemicals. I can't stress this one enough. Most Americans are eating total crap and completely unaware of it. Read the ingredients. Stay away from packaged processed foods whenever possible. Instead, veer toward fresh, vibrant foods that are harvested from the earth and minimally processed. Our bodies are unique, and different foods work well for different people. I love the Ayurvedic approach to food and diet, which tailors foods to individuals based on what their unique needs are and how to best honor oneself, not only with diet, but with lifestyle choices and yoga as well. You can learn more about Ayurveda and get a personal consultation to find out what foods and lifestyle practices are best for your unique constitution with my best friend, Claire Ragazzino, Ayurvedic counselor and founder of Vidya Living. Also, definitely check out her latest book, Living Ayurveda. I'll put links to both in the description underneath here. Another great book I'm loving right now that speaks directly to foods for fertility is Awakening Fertility, and I'll put a link for that one as well. Number 2, take supplements that work and actually support your dietary and nutritional needs. Not all supplements are created equally. And when choosing supplements, it's important to know that you're getting pure quality, highly absorbable, organic ingredients sourced with intention and integrity. There are few brands that I love and trust. My number one go-to is Symbiotica. A dear friend of mine, Sherveen, developed this brand, and I trust Sherveen. I trust his practices and his ethics completely. I've known him for years. Their products are vegan and packaged sustainably as well. And I take, along with my husband also takes these, and my daughter, we take the Omega, Synergy B12, Liposomal Vitamin C, Adaptogenic Longevity Mushrooms Blend, and the D3K2 most frequently. Those are like our daily batch, although we love all the products in their product line. These particular products are especially great for boosting fertility, nourishing pregnant mamas, supporting healthy fetal development during pregnancy, and they support postpartum healing as well. They boost the immune system and support the nervous system, brain function, and energy levels, amongst a slew of other incredible benefits. Definitely check the links in the video description below to learn more about Symbiotica. And use my code YogaGirlHawaii to get 15% off of your order. Number 3, listen to your body. If you're having painful menstrual cycles, or you're dealing with eczema or psoriasis, if you have recurring infections or unexplained sickness, know that your body is speaking to you and something is off. And your body may be asking you to rest more, to let go of a relationship or a career or a habit that is no longer serving you. It's likely more than just physical and related to emotional circumstances unfolding in your life. Take the time to develop a relationship to your body and learn to listen to what she's asking of you. And a great way to do this is to start a yoga practice. In yoga and meditation, we turn our attention inward to observe what is happening on the more subtle levels of our being. We connect the threads between the mind, the body, and the soul. And developing this connection is an excellent way to deepen your awareness of your own body and yourself. Number 4, eliminate all toxins from your life. This means toxins in your diet, environment, toxic cleaning supplies and beauty products. This also includes toxic people and any overload of bad news or stressful information. And yes, I'm calling out all you news addicts out there. It's time to find ways to balance your intake of news or anything that might cause stress in your life with practices that help you manage and eliminate stress, like meditation, qigong, and yoga. Number 5 is cleanse. To counterbalance the effects of a lifetime of toxic exposure to chemicals and unhealthy foods, research and dive into seasonal cleansing and fasting protocols with proper nourishment on the other side to heal and balance the body. Cleansing will support your gut health, your liver function, hormonal balancing, your immune system, and so much more. And it's especially important in the preconception phase. Number 6, find your joy and live it. Do what brings you joy. It sounds so simple, but this is imperative to nourishing your ability to conceive and carry a healthy pregnancy. The process of conception can often become stressful, especially when it's not achieved in a desired time frame. Trust me, I know. Aim to keep lovemaking light and fun, rather than a means to a desired income. Take a vacation, spend time in nature, laughing with loved ones. Pick up a hobby that feeds your soul, and let yourself enjoy life like you never have before. Most of the couples that I talked to who didn't conceive for years finally did when they stopped trying and started living their lives. So live your life right now while it's happening. And my number 7, last one, is rest, rest, rest. The average woman today is operating at a far busier pace than is healthy for her well-being. Take naps, do yoga nidra or restorative yoga, go to bed earlier and let yourself sleep in on occasion. When you feel tired, go to sleep. Embrace restfulness like it's your job. When you rest, the body puts energy toward healing. The nervous system relaxes, hormones can better regulate themselves, and you think more clearly, and you make better choices, and you feel happier, and you become more fertile. And it's a win-win-win. So I hope this video has been enlightening, inspiring, supportive for you in some way. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and hear a little bit more about my journey. And I'm sending you just the greatest blessings of love and aloha and radiant health. And if you like this video, check out the other videos that I have on this channel. There's a lot on fertility. I'm also a certified yoga teacher, so there's some great yoga classes. We do have prenatal classes up now, as well as classes for radiant womb health, classes for anxiety and stress, relieving sciatica and back pain, all sorts. So go check those out. You'll find links to some of my other videos in the description underneath. You can visit me on Instagram. My Instagram is at yogagirlhawaii. And also check out my website, earthrisingwellness.com. You can book a consultation with me there. And let me know, I would love to hear from you. Tell me about your journey, or if you feel comfortable sharing or want to share in this space about miscarriage or infertility, please do. I feel like these are things that are taboo in our culture, but we need to talk about more as women so that we can heal together and share what's worked for us. So leave that in the comments below, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. Hit the subscribe button. You can hit the bell to be notified when I share more videos. We're putting out videos every Wednesday, so look out for new content next week. And let me know how I can continue to support you. I'm here to answer your questions and to just keep diving deeper into this information and spreading the awareness about how we can heal our bodies as women without having to necessarily go the conventional medicine route. Although there are blessings within it, I do feel like there are also some things that we need to know about, and you may be more fertile than you have been told. So don't believe everything you hear. Learn more about my story, talk to other women, share your experiences where you feel comfortable and called to do so, and know that you're not alone in what you're going through. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. Aloha.